This is the ultimate solution for the problem of desire in your long-term relationship. You can totally solve this problem for good and enjoy frequent sex of great quality forever. I'm not talking about desire when you just start dating. I'm talking after the honeymoon period, when the initial passion subsides and people start freaking out. The desire is waning. We are having sex less often. How can we keep our desire? And then people dive into the typical sex advice that just doesn't work very well. Be more mysterious, stimulate unfamiliarity, build sexual tension, do some dirty sexting about panties from work, look for new exciting things to do. These are not solutions, and they will run your sex life into the ground even faster. I will explain later in the video why. So coming up, the most powerful long-term solution for desire. 3 reasons you actively avoid this solution and why you shouldn't follow typical sex advice on stimulating desire. The solution to desire in your long-term relationship is very simple. It's a solution from tantric sexuality, but it is really accessible to you. You don't need desire. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to stress about it. You don't need to create desire. There are days sometimes when you will have spontaneous desire. Who knows where it came from? Go with it. Take those opportunities. Life's great surprises. Other days when it is not there, you do not need it. You make space for sex in your life. You connect. You start feeling your body. You start feeling each other's bodies. You start interacting from real sensation, real energy of your bodies, real intentional loving of each other's bodies. You raise real sexual energy. It grows, it unfolds, and you have really amazing sex. You don't need to create desire. You need to create sexual energy. And the greatest, most powerful way to do that is through real interaction of the energy of each other's bodies, not through mental tricks. Also possible, but a lot more difficult and inconsistent. I will explain that later. It is just a reality that in a honeymoon period, you are on a massive dose of drugs. I am not exaggerating. You are on a massive dose of drugs. That always has a natural timer. Whoever you are, you were on MDMA. Now the MDMA has run out. You still love each other. You find each other attractive. You are just not on MDMA anymore. You do want to have sex. Sex is important to you. It nourishes you. So in that sense, you have desire for sex in your life together. Desire means I want something. But in sex, by desire, we understand a premature arousal. Arousal that will happen in the absence of your partner without feeling each other. This is doing things back to front. Make your life easy, free of conditions. You can have amazing sex anytime you want without needing that premature arousal out of nowhere. This has been proven by sex science. I worked with this solution for desire very successfully with couples for a long time before that, because it was a practice that I was using from tantric sexuality, naturally a more intentional and conscious way of having sex. But about 10 years ago, this was confirmed by mainstream sex science. This is now a concept known as responsive desire in mainstream sex science. You can look it up. Basically, they used to think that first desire, then interaction, and it turned out that it's always first interaction and then desire. It's just sometimes people have an illusion. They have an interaction in their head first, the desire is created, and then they seek the physical interaction. But all desire is responsive desire, responding to the interaction. And people are using the most flimsy resource via the mental stimulation and not using the most powerful resource, which is leveraging the natural sexual energy of your bodies in the interaction. But to understand why you are not doing it this way, you need to know the 3 reasons why you are actively avoiding this solution. The first reason: people just can't let go of their shoulds. It shouldn't be like this. We should feel desire spontaneously all the time. We used to. Yes, you were on drugs. The drugs were throwing you into sex. Now you create the chemistry for your relationship in the most powerful way in sex, during sex, and you create amazing chemistry. It's true. But this chemical change from the honeymoon period to further is exactly 180, from going from chemistry to creating chemistry. Yeah, so the approach you use needs to go exactly 180 as well. So having sex coming from desire will also remain a part of your sex life. You just will not need to depend on it, and it will not become neurotic. Embrace the new phase of your relationship. It just works differently, but you can create amazing sex, amazing energy, amazing chemistry. The mechanism now is different. Do not fight reality. Reality will win. Now, if you could like this video and subscribe and comment, I would really appreciate. The second reason why people avoid taking this path: people just don't know how to create amazing sexual energy without desire. When you're full of honeymoon drugs, you just don't need much skill. For all you know, your sexual technique could be totally crap, but it feels amazing because you're high. So after the honeymoon period, people try to do arousal, foreplay, and it turns out that everybody has learned, quite a a poor technique from the mainstream understanding. It's not engaging, it feels lifeless, it feels mechanical. So you feel, oh, this feels very different. It doesn't feel like great sex. We need desire, we need to stimulate desire. Without desire, it doesn't feel good. What is involved in making sex without desire? Creating really well space for sex in your life. People are usually really bad at this. Learning to come into the moment, live your day outside, connect, be in your body. People are also really bad at this. These are all sexual skills. And then the actual sexual practice, of course, a sexual technique that is not mechanical and lifeless, to create the best sexual energy in the body from the very first moment, with the right contact, the right build-up, the right feeling, the right connection. You can make really amazing sexual energy absolutely intentionally from zero. People are terrified of losing desire, meaning that premature arousal, because they're dependent on it. They wouldn't be able to create amazing sexual energy without it. When you have the confidence to do that, you're so free. You see, why am I wasting time on creating sexual desire? Also, learning to create sexual energy without desire. It is not like you are learning to do something really routine and predictable. It is just the overall principle for you to understand that you can create sexual energy. And then with this approach, you can create unique, special, varied sex every day. And what happens if you have sex often without needing desire? This generates sexual energy in your relationship all the time. Then this creates more of that spontaneous desire more often. Probably the most powerful way to create more spontaneous desire in your relationship is to have frequent sex without needing desire. Here, it is not a bad idea to use channeling and retaining sexual energy, because this can really supercharge things further. So having sex coming from desire will also remain a part of your sex life, probably even more often. You just will not need to depend on it, and it will not become neurotic. So look, if you understand this whole principle, you understand the solution, and you feel you can do it with a partner, you know how you will create that sexual energy, then that's fantastic. Just follow this approach, just do it. At the same time, I understand not everybody will feel confident to do this and to know how to do this. If you do need further help with this, my holistic sex course does this for you. I guide you how to create space for sex effectively, consistently in your life. I guide you week by week. I build for you all your skills, how to connect, how to be in your body, how to feel your energy together. I give you all the best practices and techniques to create the best quality of sexual energy in that space in different ways for your variety. So there is a solution you can follow step by step. Just follow the program. If you need help, look into this course. Now, the third reason why people actively avoid this most powerful and effective long-term solution for desire is people just have a thing about it. Like, if you make sex intentionally, it's not valid. Something about it is, fake, not genuine, forced, like it's basically not real. That is a really bad mindset. What is not real? This amazing sexual energy that you created through real energy of your bodies together, real interaction, real loving of each other's bodies, real presence and connection. There is no sex more real than this. You create really amazing, real sexual energy that nourishes you. You just cook it, and you create the best quality of sexual energy when you make it intentionally. It's like people think that a meal is not real because you cooked it with love, with every detail, with real creativity. This meal is not real unless it falls on your table out of the sky. If you think about it, it's the other stuff that you normally get recommended that is far less real. Yes, it works by engaging a trick in your mind, but that is far less real than the real interaction of your sexual energies together. So yes, you may need to learn and to improve how to do this, but make no mistake, you will need to make an intentional effort to nurture your sex life in a long-term relationship. It's not going to happen by itself. The question is, which of the two routes is the easier and the more effective one? By taking this path, it is a long-term solution that will work forever. Alternatively, taking the path of stimulating desire is a lot more work. There is no end to it. They're all temporary band-aids that wear out very quickly, and you will be in the struggle forever. It's just a lot more difficult. It's a much less potent resource, especially in our age of overstimulation, to stimulate yourself so strongly, so consistently. Also, the desire that is stimulated by those other means is just about engagement, curiosity, it's like clickbait. So it's very fickle, it's hard to feed, but also, it's not really what your relationship is about. That kind of desire is attracted by something, intense, extreme, unusual, new, transgressive maybe, and people often end up doing silly things in sex which don't really describe your relationship. You also don't need to give up any fun fun, stimulating things you do, if you enjoy games, seduction, building sexual tension, and you have time for it, then, for fun, because you like it, by all means, you can integrate it into your sex life. They can remain a part of your variety. It's all about being more free and expand your choices, your possibilities. But if you actually depend on it as a strategy to keep your sex life going, it'll be a heavy sex life that will probably collapse from how much work you need to do for this. So I hope this has been helpful and you will give it a go straight away.